Let's get one thing clear. Women aren't nearly as mysterious as they make themselves out to be. Complicated, definitely, but impossible to understand, not even close. The truth is, every woman, no matter how subtle or puzzling, has emotional pressure points. Soft spots that, when touched with precision, cut through the noise and go straight to her core. And no, this isn't about manipulation. This is about awareness, stoic awareness. Because while other men burn themselves out trying to be charming, agreeable, or endlessly accommodating, you'll be the one standing steady, composed, sharp, and quietly dangerous in all the ways that matter. In this video, we're diving into the top 9 emotional weaknesses in women that every man needs to know. Not so you can play games, but so you can stop being played. Some will catch you off guard. A few might explain a past breakup you never quite understood, and all of them will shift how you see attraction. So buckle in. If you're ready to stop being confused and start being in control, hit subscribe. This isn't about being the nice guy. This is about becoming the right man, the one she never forgets. Let's get into it. Number 1. Confidence that doesn't ask for permission. Here's something most guys don't realize until they've lost the woman. What pulls her in isn't how loud you are, it's how present. Research in behavioral psychology confirms people tend to mirror the emotional tone of the person they're engaging with, so think about this in the context of attraction. If you show up carrying insecurity, neediness, and the urge to over-explain, she tunes out. What you radiate, she steps away from. But when you walk in calm, centered, and confident, the kind that doesn't need a spotlight, you don't just attract her, you disarm her. That's the true weakness, not showy confidence or flashy bravado, but that inner stillness that doesn't waver when she pulls away, doesn't need her validation to feel solid, and doesn't collapse in the face of silence. Most men overtalk, overdo, overgive, desperate to prove they're worthy, but in chasing her approval, they kill the very attraction they want to create. Here's the irony. She feels safest not when you seek her validation, but when you stop needing it. That's what Stoicism teaches. Stay grounded. Act without reacting. Hold your frame through the emotional turbulence. A woman doesn't crave control, she craves containment. Not dominance, but direction. Not noise, but stillness. When you can sit in the discomfort without breaking. When you remain rooted in the middle of chaos, she feels it. Not in what you say, but in how you're being. You're not trying to win her over. You're simply standing on your ground and inviting her into your world, not carrying her into it. That's not just attraction. That's what makes you unforgettable. Number 2. Being understood without needing to explain. Everything at a certain stage in life. Emotional fatigue replaces emotional outbursts, not because people stop feeling, but because they've grown tired of explaining themselves to those who never listened in the first place. For a lot of women, especially those who've carried their own emotional load for years, silence becomes a kind of shield, not because they don't want to be heard, but because they've been misread, dismissed, or labeled too many times. Most men miss this, not from malice, but from distraction. They're too busy fixing, responding, or dodging discomfort to actually see what's in front of them. But the man who pauses, who doesn't demand clarity or offer advice, but simply stays present, that man gets under her skin in a way no clever line ever could. I once spoke with a woman in her late 60s who'd survived 2 marriages and carried years of buried grief. She told me the first time she felt truly seen again wasn't in some grand gesture, but in a moment where a man noticed she wasn't okay and just sat beside her. No questions, no fixing, just presence. That's what she remembered. That's what broke through. The Stoics knew that wisdom isn't always in words, it's in perception, in sensing rather than solving, in watching without rushing to conclusions. Modern men have lost that ability. But women still crave it, to be felt without being fixed, to be known without putting on a performance. This kind of presence doesn't just attract, it heals. The man who holds space, instead of filling it with advice or noise, becomes unforgettable. Number 3. Masculine silence at the right time. There's silence that feels cold, distant, even punishing, and then there's the kind that speaks volumes, the kind that calms, centers, and grounds. Few men ever master that second kind. Most, when emotions rise, scramble. They talk too much, over-explain, try to reclaim control with noise. But that just exposes a lack of inner structure. A man who panics under emotional pressure is still building his foundation. And women, they feel that. Not always consciously, but deeply. But a man who chooses silence not from pride, but from principle, who stays calm while others get reactive, that man radiates control. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. That's the heart of this. Real silence isn't avoidance, it's anchored awareness. It's choosing stillness when chaos invites you to spin. The man who learns to pause, to feel the emotional current without becoming it. That's the man she remembers. That's the man who commands respect without saying a word. Number 4. Deep eye contact that doesn't waver. There's something timeless about a steady gaze. Something primal. Not the polite glance. Not the nervous flicker. but the kind of eye contact that stays just a second longer than expected. That 1 second, that's everything. That's where confidence lives, and it's where most men blink. First, I once met a Navy veteran in his 70s. He didn't say much, but when he looked at you, he was all there. Fully present, his stillness. It shook people more than words ever could. That kind of gaze doesn't perform, it anchors. It says, I'm not here to prove anything. I've already seen enough. Deep eye contact isn't about seduction. It's about sovereignty. When you can meet her eyes without trying to win her, without needing anything back, you send a message that's felt in her gut. I am here. I am grounded. I am not chasing, I'm witnessing. Number 5. Her pull. Toward mysterious depth. Here's something psychology confirms: we're more drawn to those who unfold slowly, not because they're hiding, but because they're whole. Most men confuse mystery with avoidance. They think being vague, dodging emotions, or disappearing creates allure. It doesn't, it just creates confusion. Real mystery, the kind that captivates, comes from depth, from restraint, from a man who doesn't need to spill everything to be real. Women are drawn to men who feel like a novel, not a brochure. Men who reveal meaning, not just facts. Men who allow curiosity to build, not because they're playing games, but because they have nothing to prove. Speak when it matters. Listen more than you explain. Let your stillness create space for discovery. You don't need to be mysterious, just solid enough to be worth discovering.